Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and welcome to the Live World of Darkness. This is a scene for the Changeling venue. The time has come. It is the start of Pietro's trial. There have been so many trials after the revelation of genocide from the Queen's own regent, a member of House Eiluned. A lot of House Eiluned itself has been investigated, and it's been going on now for about 2 months. This is the first time, though, that anything regarding the kidnapping of Countess Anne has come up. It's in relation to it, but actually it is not the most serious charge that Pietro the SLUAGH has been charged with. You will find that everybody is moving into the scene. There's great crowds, and you will see already assembled Pietro's jury. Though the She only make up 5% of the Changeling population, because of representation based on freeholds, they actually make up about 50% of your jury. The other 50% will be commoners that have freeholds of 15 or more. They already assembled. Wigs are already on their heads, just as it is in the UK still to this day. And the judge, actually, though, is an older boggin, well into his grump years, that seems very pensive and seems to have a lot of paperwork on his desk for some reason. When you're coming in, you will notice that some people are whispering about one of the members, one of the She, that's standing off to the side with what Trevitan will recognize as surrogate. It is Doreen. And Trevitan will, of course, know that she's from House Eiluned. And we will begin our scene here as you all come in. Pietro, you're not under chains, nothing so dramatic and stuff. You have been free to roam around during this period, so it's assumed that you're going to be a good little boy and show up to your trial today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Pietro will just appear in court holding himself with his cane, and he has cuts and bruises all over his face and arms. And when people ask, he will say that he was stopping a riot in the walls of Goblin Town. And that he plans, when the trial is over, to go back there and finish that business.
Because some of the people there were a dissident faction of the Commoner Army. And we'll say that a couple of the Commoners might guess that you were that SLUAGH that was trying to tell them to stop all that nonsense at Goblin Town.
Okay,
So
I will try to find the Rick, Trevitan, and all the changelings I know to present the idea of this oath I discovered in my first couple of days of research at the Turner Library.
Rick's gonna be sitting up in the audience. He's going to keep the audience and witnesses. There'll probably be a few Common Army members out there, but he's just staring them down like, do it.
And being a red cap with a reputation, he is quite fearsome. You're on your way to becoming a Witch King, aren't you?
I already became one.
Oh, okay, okay. So some of the red caps might know that, actually.
The red cap's instantly cowed. The other comer's like, what the fuck is he doing? What the fuck is he doing?
That bad attitude, it's amazing what he can do.
It kind of
I'm sorry, what?
Do I see Aiden here?
Yes, he is standing off to the side with Doreen already.
I'm going to go up to them first.
Okay. And you'll see actually with the two of them, there is another much younger She and stuff that is dressed in Eiluned livery and that kind of thing, and they introduce him as their escort, and they greet you, and Doreen, of course, is the most more outgoing of the two of them, and says that she just absolutely can't wait to go and give her testimony. She's really looking forward to this, especially since she sees all these Gordians here.
Trevetton lights up one of his cigarettes, as always. Did you find something that'll be extremely useful? I don't like surprises.
Oh, tell them, honey. And Aiden, yeah, Eiluned, of course, looks uncomfortable. Says, yes, in fact, during my scrying, I did run into quite an extensive amount of chicanery. However, although I didn't find anything beyond the chicanery does match the exact trap that was laid out. I don't suppose you're familiar with a decorum?
Enlighten me.
A knocker war criminal that Duke Guile used quite extensively to most likely manufacture the disease that ravaged the Adhene. He was eventually discovered by some commoners, but at first they had to go through many a chicaner's puzzle. And the way that he laid them out is very distinctive. The chicanery that I ran into was the exact same pattern. As far as I know, it is known only to Duke Guile and does point to him.
Good. And just so you know, our agreement about your house, I've also got Pietro to agree to assist.
Well, good. Hopefully we can put an end to these trials soon enough, or else I might find myself standing trial. And Doreen pats her back. No, don't be silly. You've done nothing wrong. Can't put you on trial just for being an Eiluned. Be like them putting me on trial for being a... Oh, yes, I see what you mean. She smiles at them. Well, anyways, let's see what happens.
Right. Feel like a third wheel again. Thank you for coming, but I will go over to Pietro.
Okay. All right, and Pietro is there?
So, the day has come.
Well, I have good news for you.
Okay, do tell me.
2 individuals there will be testifying, and they found some things that point to Duke Guile, so things are looking better and better for you.
Nice. Who are they?
Aiden, who is a friend of mine, and his betrothed.
Oh, very well. I will pass the name to my lawyer when I see him, or it. But I need a little bit more of help.
You need more help.
Yes, I find on my research at the Turner Library an oath.
Okay.
That will make me look a little bit more nice, so to speak, at the eyes of the dreaming.
I don't like where this is going, but continue.
Would you like to swear on my behalf?
You want me to swear an oath?
Yes.
And what will this oath say?
Well, it would say that I did not kidnap Countess Anne, and I am not responsible of the murders.
But that's just swear an oath that you did not kidnap Countess Anne?
Yeah, and that I did not murder the people that was murdered by someone else.
Well, I can swear an oath that you didn't kill Walter Cross.
Very well. I can work with that.
Ray's going to go behind Pietro and put an arm on his shoulder. I'm here if you need.
And Pietro will start touching the. Oh, yeah, it's Rick. I know these big, broad hands.
I'm here if you need me.
Will you swear on my behalf, Rick?
Sure.
Amazing. And he will start looking for someone else. He will. He's actually looking for the Baroness the newfound Baroness, because she's someone of weight now, and he could use a little bit of political weight on his side.
Great. He just called me fat.
No, I said political weight.
You're politically correct.
No, Eve's making her way in. It wouldn't be too weird to have Kadoma entering with her, I wouldn't think, since he is her husband's squire.
Oops, sorry, I was muted. Yep, totally. Let's do that.
Totally makes sense. So I'm assuming the two of them are making their way
before too.
That's right, you have experience. And those two make their way in.
Yes.
I'm assuming looking for a seat.
Yeah.
And Pietro will wave his hand to try to catch their eye and wave them in.
Wave. A little bit more guardedly, not like, yay, but hi.
Sign off. Come here. I need to talk to you.
We should probably offer a few words of support before the trial gets going.
True. Yeah, let's go.
Operative word being few.
Well, what words are there to say? Good luck, or is pretty much it.
So we will make our way over to Pietro.
And Pietro will look at both of them and go like, hi.
Hello, you look in good spirits.
Oh,
Considering.
yes. Yes, I know I'm in good spirits because I'm innocent. And he will smile. But I might need a small, very, very small favor. And he grins again.
All right, speak this favor, and we'll consider it.
Yes, of course. On my first days of research at Turner Library, I found an oath that would make me look more favorable at the eyes of the dreaming.
Okay.
It's an oath to, well, my upstanding in society, or so to speak. Well, it will be basically saying that you trust that I haven't kidnapped Countess Anne and I didn't murder those people.
What does the oath say? What is the wording? What would we be promising?
As soon as my lawyer arrives, I will ask him because he has crafted it for me. I'm a SLUAGH. I'm not good at those.
Who's your lawyer? Do we know him?
He's the same lawyer that served Sir Green or Squire Green from House Dougal.
Oh God.
I know of him. I never met him, but I know of him. He was a friend of Valerius's.
Your husband has friends in many, many places.
Well, yeah, actually.
When you start thinking about it. But let me go and try to find my lawyer and ask him for the oath wording, and I will be right back. And
Okay.
Pietro will just squirm through the people to go and find his lawyer.
Okay. So at this point, when you are probably a little pissed off to discover that your original lawyer is no longer here. Yes. Your original lawyer was granted a freehold and decided to start up a new line of business after that because, frankly, they've seen just a little bit too much go on with all the trials and so forth like that. The trial of Sir Green was really just the start of the Parliament of Dream really gaining some serious weight in the Kingdom of Apples. But after he was granted a freehold, he saw it as an opportunity to start anew.
And who is
lawyer's
my
sabbatical, that's not good.
and who is my upstanding lawyer now?
You see a man who's pretty much in his 40s, who Eve actually might have seen before. He actually registers as human to you. Although, albeit a glow with a little bit of glamour.
Oh, it's Craig / Edwin, but yes.
No, actually. No, nothing so
Well,
good.
you said a man. I don't know too many humans.
God damn it, I could have used a mage lawyer.
Well, then you
I know, right?
probably should have recruited him because he's a player character. Anyways, this is somebody that Valerius knows quite a bit and Eve might have seen. He introduces himself as Gary.
All right.
Definitely Gary.
Yes.
How do I know this guy?
He actually works with a bunch of Chimera in accounting for Valerius's freehold. He was there before Valerius got a seneschal. And because he was an enchanted human, he didn't need to worry about banality so much, so he did the accounting and all that. He managed the tithe.
Okay, all right, I get it.
He's excited because this is one of his first forays.
So I will look at Gary and go like, hello, what happened to my lawyer?
Oh, well, funny thing about that, your lawyer, your original one, was granted a freehold. Go figure, right? So maybe if I get popping up, I'll get my own freehold.
By who?
By... Hold on. Oh, House Fiona. Gotta love them.
It's like, what the fuck, Valerius? I thought you were trying to help me. Did my lawyer leave a note wording somewhere around here?
A note?
It's an oath wording.
I don't think I understand.
He left a paper with many, many words written upon it.
I got quite a few of those.
May I look through them, please?
Okay. Let's see. I'm looking through your list of charges here.
Yes.
Definitions. Let's see. I'm looking through your listing of rights. You mentioned an oath?
Yes. Yes.
Like, what oath? Hope it's not oath to secrecy.
No, it's a kind of oath that people. It will make me a little more favorable at the eyes of the dreaming.
Oh, congregation. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have it? Because I need to show it to some people.
No, this wasn't developed by any house. Literally, you go out there and you say, in the sight of all my friends, in the sight of the dreaming, and then you list what you have to say about this person. Hopefully it's a good thing.
Okay. I will be right back. And Pietro squares back to the rest of the changelings and tells them what Gary has told him, and he introduces Gary as his new lawyer and prepares to be executed.
Rick goes through the motions and he makes the oath. He's like, I got very short-term memory problems, so...
Don't worry. So he will look at...
Rick gets and tells him, as far as I know, he did not murder those people. And I, in good faith, believe he did not kidnap Countess then.
Okay, that's what you're going to oath?
Yeah.
Okay. Dreaming swells up a little bit. And you see Pietro aglow for maybe a few seconds.
Oh, nice. I know.
Yeah. Temporary going to you.
And I will turn to the Baroness.
So I just have to say the things I believe about you.
Yes.
If you feel so moved.
If I feel,
yes.
I understand if I'm willing to do this oath. I understood that. It's not like I have to do this. but I do want to help where I can. I told you so, and I'm going to keep my word on that. So she will say, I believe Pietro when he says he did not murder anybody. And what I know of him, he is a good man who cares about people. That's pretty much it.
Okay, cool. You are the second weighty person to testify towards the good character of Pietro. Okay, so you see the dreaming kind of grow brighter for a second, and perhaps Pietro's aglow for a little bit longer. Is there anybody else willing to say anything vaguely good about this guy under oath?
Yes, please.
Kagoma will step forward after considering his words carefully for a little bit. He will say, in the eyes of the dreaming, and particularly for the limited duration of this trial, my faith is with Pietro, and I trust that his actions meant no ill to kith or kingdom.
Cool, I like that. Okay, so people may be a little bit more unfamiliar with you. However, oath is still an oath. Dreaming glows. Pietro glows. He's been strengthened 3 times.
The prosecution.
Yes.
And
No,
you
it's
prevent
only
it right now.
the person that's accused. I'm sorry, what?
Trementon kind of him-haws around a little bit. He hates oaths. Pietro knows that. He finds them very constricting, doesn't like doing them. So, in the eyes of the dreaming Pietro, I've known you for the longest. We've been friends for some time. We've done interesting things together, many adventures, and I know with 100% certainty that you are not responsible for the death of Walter Cross. And I'll swear that to anyone who asks.
Ooh, okay. Your words are probably the strongest so far of anybody that's testified. And, you know, you were involved in the downfall of Duke Guile, so you are known to the audience. Pietro strengthened a 4th time. All right. Now that compurgation appears to be over, the lawyer, Gary, calls for anybody else in the audience. And he settles over to Eve and says, "Hey, where's the lord of the house? Is Valerius going to say anything?"
He is evidently busy. Probably can't. I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be in the Parliament for this.
Oh, dude.
So he can't really go either way on this.
Oh, okay. Maybe, he looks through the paperwork, maybe he's supposed to be in the jury. I can't really. Never mind. Thank you. And Gary goes, "Okay. Lords and ladies of the dreaming, those assembled at the shining host, those of the commoner persuasion, and of course my fellow enchanted, I present today the case of Pietro the SLUAGH."
And Pietro will just wave to the people.
A man, I hope you will agree with me by the end of this, caught up in it was just too much, unaware of the various schemes and plots and machinations of people far higher than him. I would like at this point for his rights to be read out to the court. If it would please everybody, and the judge, prior to the charges being listed. And he looks up to the bog and like, can I get away with this? And the bog goes, yes, there's no problem with that. And he goes, all right, everybody. For Pietro Gregor of the SLUAGH, your listing of rights under the Treaty of Concord 1975. You have the right to remain silent when questioned unless both parties have agreed to no more than the most elementary casting of the art known as sovereign. You have the right of kin, meaning you may select a member of your own kith to serve as your agent. I understand this matter as you have once used a member of the SLUAGH, Tributin, who has visited you when you were confined. You have the right to consort an attorney before speaking to any closed court, Eiluned, or prosecuting authorities, which you have taken.
Yes.
At any time during this trial, you may waive these aforementioned rights, and you may demand that you be tried in an open court at the mercy of literally anybody. You may go through trial by ordeal, or you may go through trial by combat. You have used your right of compurgation before any trial.
Yes.
Now these are your rights. I will hereafter list the charges again presented against you. All right. For Pietro the SLUAGH, 1 Count Kidnapping. Under Concordian Law, kidnapping is commonly defined as the taking of a person from one place to another against his or her will, or the confining of a person to a controlled space with or without use of cantrip. Concordant Code of Conduct makes kidnapping a serious felony offense with exile or imprisonment sentences of 20 or more years, depending on prior convictions and the circumstances of the case. You are not subject to international kidnapping under this clause, so I see no need to invoke any treaties with the Kingdom of Northern Ice. 4 counts, breaking and entering. These would be the sewers, service station, Tower Eiluned, and Countess Anne's chambers during the time of the Court of Home Fires. This is defined as the criminal act of entering a residence or other enclosed property through the slightest amount of force, even pushing open a door, without authorization. If there is intent to commit a crime, this is also known as burglary. If there is no such intent, the breaking and entering alone is probably at least illegal trespass. 15 counts destruction of property. 1 lion-headed lock crafted by House Gwydion and House Fiona. Countess Anne's bedding. Apparently there were extensive bloodstains. 1 moonstone stand, books, 2 chairs, 1 chest, and 1 damaged spider silk evening gown. 1 lamp. 1 count theft, 1 heirloom moonstone. 3, and he looks at this point very solemn. 3 counts, first-degree murder. Heather me Eiluned, handmaiden to the Countess. Patrick Osmond, troll in the service of Eiluned. Walter Cross, SLUAGH in the service of Eiluned. First-degree murder is defined as an unlawful killing that is both willful and premeditated, meaning that it was committed after planning or lying in wait for the victim. To convict on this charge, the following conditions must be met and proven: intent, deliberation and premeditation, and malice aforethought. You have 1 stricken charge, 8 counts of sedition, which was proven already in the initial hearing as unsubstantiated hearsay. Do you contest any of these charges, Pietro?
I'm innocent of the 3 charges of murder, the 14 of the 15 counts of destruction of property, and I will also contest the counts of breaking and entering, and of course the Countess Anne kidnapping.
And Gary pipes up, to clarify, he would like to contest every charge. The judge goes, I see. And for the prosecution, who do we have? And at this, you see a very young man step up, who is actually not of House Eiluned. That's going to be the last shock. He is House Gwydion, most clearly, and a she. No, he's a she. He paces and he goes, Your Honor? And the Grum goes, yes. The prosecution would like to strike one more charge from the list. And the Grum goes, oh, really? Really? Yes, yes, I would actually like to strike the charge of kidnapping. We would like, in this stance, to pursue the destruction of property, the first-degree murder, and the count of theft. And the judge goes, this is most unusual for the prosecution. And the Gwydion goes, well, I just don't feel it's right. Could you elaborate? Mine own house and a few others are pursuing the most unusual circumstances to Countess Anne's kidnapping. However, we do not find it likely through our own soothsay that this SLUAGH was responsible and feel that it would be a waste of the court's time to pursue this. And the Grum judge at this point goes, well, then it's dismissed. He bangs the gavel. All right. You're pursuing the other charges. We will begin with that. Let's start out with the counts of breaking and entering sewers, service station, Tower Eiluned, and Countess Anne's chambers. And the prosecution goes, yes, yes, we'd like to begin with that. Do you have any witnesses? The prosecution goes, yes, we would like to call our first witness. And most unfortunately, we only have 2 witnesses in this case. Our first witness is a troll that was guarding home fires at this time. We would like to call to the stand William Petrozzi, a troll not of our own house, unsworn. And at that, a troll comes up, and perhaps he is familiar to Pietro, because of course when Pietro was going through the SLUAGH, they were temporarily held up by a troll. The troll comes up there and he gives a most unusual accounting that day. Now most days when he goes by the sewer, he tells everybody there was nobody in there. You know, it is the sewers kind of thing. And the sewers are only there in home fires because the castle honestly should have sewers. However, there was one day, and it was the day the Countess Anne was kidnapped, that he distinctly remembers a small child being found in the sewers. A small child with the most peculiar voice. He found himself in a state of confusion for several hours hence, which he was unable to recall the most basic functions of his job duty, in which other people called him out upon and he was subsequently disciplined for. When any amount to try and figure out what was going on, it was found that most likely his brain was addled, but the original condition was not able to be restored. Counterweaving attempts proved completely unsuccessful. So if I am to understand, the young Gwydion says, you don't really know if you saw a small child in the sewers that day. The troll scrunches up his face. I honestly thought I did at the time. Do you assume that it's reasonable that if you really had seen a small child, you would have brought it to its parents? No, I offered to take it to its parents, but the child said that it was not lost. Gwydion folds up his arms even more so. So you just left a small child in the sewers and you went on to your job duties? And the troll goes, yes, I know it's unusual. Concordian goes, if I did not believe you were addled by spell, I would call you negligent. Troll looks angry, but doesn't say anything. I believe that my brain was addled. You had best hope that your brain was addled, says the prosecutor, or else my own house will be pursuing you for negligence of a child left in the sewers. Who knows what sort of malicious chimera might be hanging out there? And at this, the troll stands up and begins to get angry, and you see his beast nature manifesting, but he stops. And he looks around like he's been stopped by something. And he kind of very quietly folds his hands, looks angry, and says, "May I be excused?" And the Guardian goes, yes, of course. I believe I've asked everything I need to of you, unless, of course, the defense has any questions. And Gary goes, oh, yeah, I got stuff to say. All right, then. And as the prosecution leaves, the judge says, I would like to remind everybody that the first level of sovereign has been cast. No shenanigans. Okay. So, Gary goes, Pietro.
Yes.
Do SLUAGH like to hang out in sewers?
Contrary to what most of the Kithane think, we don't like to hang out in sewers.
Okay. Let's say that even if you loved it, would it be illegal for you to be in a sewer?
No.
I mean, like, I remember, it's been some time since I went to the Grey World. But I've been in a few sewers in New York City. And I don't ever remember getting in trouble. I remember it being unpleasant, but that was about it.
It's not illegal to be in a sewer.
Exactly, that's my point. That's my point, and that's the question I'd like to put to our fellow troll here. Now, Mr. William Petrozzi, is it illegal to go into the sewers? And the troll goes, well, not illegal per se, we just don't like it, you know, we want to keep track of who's in there, right? Safety concerns and so on. Yes, I understand that you don't like people going in there, but is it actually illegal? And troll looks uncomfortable and goes, I suppose it's not. Well, good. See? I mean, even if my client was in the sewer all day long, it wouldn't have mattered, would it? I guess not. Good. Okay. I don't think I've got any more questions to ask you. Thanks. And, sorry about your brain there. The troll looks uncomfortable again and goes, I'd like to be excused. And Gary gives Pietro a big grin. Okay.
And Pietro was like, yeah.
Now, the judge at this point says, as far as the service station and Tower Eiluned go, you can only prove that you were in the service station if it was proven that you were in Tower Eiluned. And they asked the prosecution if there's any witnesses for that. And the prosecution at this point says that according to the other handmaidens, they believe that Heather might have seen unfamiliar people in Tower Eiluned. However, as she was one of the murdered, they can't place anybody strange being in Tower Eiluned. So the prosecution says, all right then, let's see if we can place you in Countess Anne's chambers.
And Pietro agrees.
And the prosecution at this point points out that they were able to use soothsay to find you in a lock. The lock was at the entrance to Countess Anne's chambers. It was the lock that was guarding her chambers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, at that point, Gary looks a little bit uncomfortable, and he says in a low voice to Pietro, "Dude, I guess I better ask you now.
Go ahead.
Do this?"
I never entered Countess Anne's chambers. Never. I was stuck in her lock. Yes. I never actually entered her chamber. I don't know even what it looks like.
Just the lock is in there.
All right. Dude, I think what we might need to do here, if you're okay with it, is that we say that you broke in to Tower Eiluned to save you from putting you in Countess Anne's chambers, because that's what they're going for.
Actually, he will whisper to Gary, I was shown into a tower of Eiluned by one of the handmaidens, and I was trapped on the lock. Yes, but nothing more than that.
Wait, hold on. One of the handmaidens showed you in?
Yes, one of the handmaidens. There was a very complex device in which the rooms changed ways, and it was only known by House Eiluned. So
Shown in. Hold on. Your Honor. Hold on. Your Honor, and Gary is desperately trying to get the judge's attention. The judge looks a little bit tired. He goes, "Yes. I would like to call my defendant, my client, onto the stand." He looks really pleased with himself. "You realize this means that the prosecution can cross-examine him?" "Yeah, definitely. Let's do that." Okay. So, Pietro approaches the stand. Gary gets up there and he goes, "Okay, dude. How did you get into that lock? Tell me exactly how you got into that lock."
Well,
You're willing to admit that you got into that lock?
Yes, I admit that I got stuck into that lock.
Okay,
yes,
cool.
I admit it.
Yeah, but how'd you wind up there? Tell me what you just told me. Tell everybody what you just told me.
A member of House Eiluned, a handmaiden of House Eiluned, guided me through that set of chambers until we found the door to Countess Anne's chambers.
Okay,
because
and
House Eiluned Tower was protected some way.
What was the name of the chick that showed you in?
And Pietro will tell her, but I think that's the one that died, sadly.
You were never told her name?
Yeah, but I can in character remember. It's the Puka chick that was carrying the tray of food for Countess Anne to eat.
Okay, and when you mentioned that she was a Puka, Gary is actually able to produce a painting from his files of her. He says, "This is the chick," and holds her up to you. And it is a picture of the handmaiden.
Yes, it's she.
And then Gary proudly turns to the Gwydion prosecutor and he goes, "Does that sound like the truth to you?" And at this, the prosecutor goes, "Interesting. That sounds right," and he looks to the rest of his prosecution team. "Might I question the defendant?" And Gary goes, Yeah, I think I've asked you anything. Anything else you want to say, Pietro, before I let you to these guys?"
I don't know. No, I don't think so.
Okay. Cool. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Gary scoots away. And the young Gwydion, with fire in his eyes, rounds on Pietro. And he goes, "How did you come to know?"
Ask Countess Anne if she would accuse Duke Guile of mass murdering.
And you're saying that you were shown the entire way in?
I was shown the entire way in. I never even opened a door.
So a member of House Eiluned showed you the entire way in?
She did.
And the Concordian leans back a little bit. He goes, your words were ringing true to me, but now I can't tell if I'm hearing a truth or a falsehood now.
And Pietro will just look at it.
How long did you stay in that lock?
I think it was 10 to 12 minutes. Should be the spawn time of my presence inside that lock, yes. And as you know,
I must see. I would request a very short recess so that I might check our records to establish a timeline, as portions of this SLUAGH's tale ring true to mine ears. And he turns towards the judge. Judge goes, "Yep. Short 10-minute recess called." He bangs the gavel, and everybody gets up and starts talking and so forth. And there's much milling about.
Stand up to stretch.
yeah, Pietro just asked for a little bit of water.
Raisin Walker, Pietro and whisper. I'm pretty sure that Gwen had preconceived notions of what you actually did that night.
Yeah, and it's very weird that my original lawyer received a freehold just before my trial, and he decided to change careers on a heartbeat, didn't he?
No, it's actually quite blatant that somebody paid off your lawyer.
Yeah, House Eiluned has hands in everything.
It's not just the one you gotta worry about. That's a Husquillian prosecutor.
House Williams are, I would say, honorable bastards.
True, but he also wanted to convict you for something, which means somebody's pulling his strings.
Well, yes, that might be possible, but we can't actually do anything from here. Maybe we could look upon it after the trial.
Alright, kids hate commerce. One of it, too.
Yeah, you're right on that.
Be careful.
I will. Thank you, Rick.
Okay. At that, unless anybody has anything else to say, we'll say the court resumes. Okay, cool. Okay. So at this, the young Concordian thanks the judge and goes back up and calls Pietro once more to continue their conversation.
And Pietro obliged and goes.
Pietro, after talking with my counsel, one thing is most suspicious to us. You have admitted to knowing one of the victims, and we must ask for a handmaiden in the service of House Eiluned. Why would she trust you and show you the entire way through? That is very odd. I would have very strong words with any handmaiden of my house that did that for an outsider.
Yes, it's very, very weird, isn't it?
You will answer the question.
I don't have any answer to give you. She doesn't trust me. I just said I was going to clean the Countess and bedchambers, and she guided me through.
That is most suspect. I would put it to the audience that he threatened her.
Look at me. And he will show the bruises and the cuts and everything. Why I would threat her? Why I would threat anyone? I'm a SLUAGH.
You look like a SLUAGH that's prone to violence, to mine eyes.
No, I'm sadly to say that you are mistaken, sir. I was stopping a riot at the walls of Goblin Town since a couple of nights ago.
We are not here to discuss a riot at Goblin Town. We are here to discuss why a handmaiden from another house was letting an insider in to her mistress's chambers.
Well, she might have been mistaken, or she said she was very worried about Countess and she wasn't eating and her chambers were quite filthy.
But again, why would she come to you? Why do you know her? Do you know her from some previous encounters? Please, give us an explanation.
I don't know her from any previous encounter. I only saw her that day.
I find that very suspicious. You must know this, sir.
I know, sir, but you are saying that I threat her, and I'm saying that no, I didn't. It's for the jury to decide. If I threaten a poor puka handmaiden to guide me to a chamber instead of, well, you know, maybe calling the entire guard of House Eiluned wing at Taranar. Home fires.
All right, Pietro. I want you to listen to, honestly, how your prosecution sees this. We know that this young woman in the service of House Eiluned shows you up to her mistress. Sometime later, a commotion is heard. Guards rush in. She is found dead and her mistress is kidnapped.
Yes.
And you are saying that you have nothing to do with either, although it would appear that you were the last one to see her.
I will ask you this in exchange. Let me play you for a second in the shoes of that handmaiden, yes? What would you say if you see a newcomer threatening you to guide him to your mistress' chamber? Remember, you're in the middle of the wings of House Eiluned at home fires. What would you do? Would you guide me to her, or would you call the guard to have me apprehended?
I don't know if any arts were used.
I can say that I'm not very good at arts. I know very few at the moment. I can tell you what I know, if you need it.
No, honestly, I want to know what happened in between her showing you to Countess Anne's chambers and her dying.
I was trapped at the Lion's Lock. I cannot tell you what happened. I don't even know how Countess Anne Chambers looks like.
But then, although your words do seem to make sense to me, I have to ask, why would you ever go into the lock in the first place if she was showing you in?
Because the lock reacted badly to me and it transformed into a giant lion. And I jump inside his mind.
Badly to people that would mean the people inside harm.
I jump inside the lion's mouth.
It was crafted by my own house.
Mm-hmm. I will tell you this, I never desire any kind of harm for to Countess Anne. I just think she has been misguided by someone.
No, SLUAGH, I'm not sure if you mean Countess Anne any more harm. Honestly, my house is not sure anymore. But we're not sure what you meant for this handmaiden. Honestly, your timeline makes no sense to us. And with this amount of doubt and your unwillingness to provide succinct answers, I have no further questions for you. I suppose that we're probably ready for closing remarks, and he turns to the judge at this point.
May I ask to speak with my attorney for a second.
I'm here for them too.
Sorry, baby stuff. All right, and the judge goes,
Your Honor.
what I would put to the audience is, honestly, what is more likely? And then he stops as he sees that Gary is talking to the judge very hurriedly, and the Gwydion begins to speak up. What is more likely to the audience? That this young SLUAGH comes, persuades a handmaid whom he has never met before to show him into the mistress's chambers. He finds himself trapped into a lock. Conveniently at this time, the handmaiden is killed and Countess Anne is kidnapped. Or he sneaks into Tower Eiluned. He threatens the handmaiden to show her into her mistress's chambers, and when she does not let him through the lock, he slays her and then attempts to gain entrance through the lock, trapping himself in. What is more likely and straightforward? For I find that, honestly, the shortest distance between 2 points, the straightforward path, that is the way of the Gwydions, that is the way of right. I put that to this court that is most obviously, Gary, what the hell do you want? And he turns around to find Gary going, hey, I got one more witness. One more. Okay? And the Gwydion goes, anybody on the list? He goes, no, it's this lady. It's another chick. Hold on. And then Gwydion goes, all right, but Gary, honestly, you still need to do your closing remarks. Okay, man, but right after this witness. And at that point, there are gasps as everybody realizes that Dorween, at this point, has changed into her full House Allele livery. She gives a very smarmy smile to the Gwydion. And she says, hello, everybody. I'm Doreen of House Allele. You might remember me, as I and the rest of my house were here 10 months ago, working quite a bit with Duke Guile. Although, you know, when we're called upon to assassinate Walter Cross, because his family might be slavers, being a SLUAGH and so forth, we decide maybe we don't want to do that. We might be unseelie, but we're not to be compared to some Thalain or so forth. What do you take us for? So, no, I have it in my head that Duke Guile has wanted Walter Cross dead for a long, long time, and I find it very convenient that he was killed during this ruckus. Hey, get over here. She motions to Aiden. Come up here. Say your stuff. And Aiden, a faithful member of House Eiluned, looks a little quiet and bashful at this. And he goes, I know I'm not on the paperwork, but I just had something really quick to say. And Doreen goes, nonsense, all eyes are on you. Speak your mind right now. And he scratches his head. He goes, all right, look, so not all the House Eiluned is up with Duke Guile. Whatever he is guilty of. Look, I was doing some scrying to kind of figure out what was going on in the scene. It's all muddled, okay? Somebody did a bunch of chicanery on it. But the deal about the chicanery is that it does this little loop-de-loop thing where it seems like you've been walking for days and days and days, and really you've just been turning around in a circle for a couple of hours and just exhausts you. The same sort of very specific chicanery I've only ever seen once before, and that's where they were hiding that war criminal Knocker who was making all those diseases and so forth. That's got Duke Guile's mark on it to me. This whole thing, honestly, maybe he wasn't above murdering people, and maybe he saw this as a convenient time to murder Walter Cross. I don't know how a handmaiden could have pissed him off, and I don't know how a troll could have gotten him mad, but at least that makes me really doubtful that SLUAGH here murdered another slaugh. I don't have anything else to say. Doreen, come on. And he looks really embarrassed and stuff because Doreen's like, yeah, I'm outside of the. He goes, come on. She goes, hey, any questions from the prosecution? And the young Gwydion goes, I would like to call you for a separate trial later on to deal with the kidnapping of Countess. Just, ooh, okay, I'm looking forward to it. She steps right off. And Gary goes, well, cool. Pietro, you want to say, like, anything before I do my closing remarks?
And Pietro will just look at the poor Gwydion lawyer and go like, nah, Gary has pretty much everything covered.
And Gary has this look like, you son of a bitch. He goes, okay, like, I know my client got himself locked in a lock, but I get myself locked into weird places all the time, and most of the time, like, I had no intention of where I even was. I get enchanted, I lose my memory an awful lot. Stuff happens, it's the dreaming, man. I don't think he was doing anything wrong. I don't think he's got a mean or malicious bone in his body. I actually think he's probably Sealy. I think he's a good guy, and I think that murder is just what everybody else said when they were oathing to him. I just don't think that he could do it. I would say that honestly, he's a good guy. He made some bad decisions. Maybe he wanted to go and talk to Countess Anne, like he was saying earlier. And so he goes with this this chick, Heather, and he gets himself locked in a lock because, like I said, that stuff happens to me. But I'm going to say that this guy, Duke Guile, we know that he's crafty. We know that he's smart. Maybe he did take advantage of this situation to go and kill some people he wanted to kill anyways. As our surprise witnesses at the end, though I really wish I'd known were coming, pretty much said. So I would put it to my audience that my client is just a dummy. We good? And at that, he kind of like shuffles away from the glare of the Boggin Grump and takes a polite seat down to Pietro, but it's got kind of like a nervous thumbs up. I think we might got that.
And Pietro pats him on the back. You're amazing, dude.
Judge goes, all right. 2-minute recess. I need to talk to the jury. And we will come back with a verdict very soon. Everybody, do not leave this room. Okay, short recess.
You see, it's everything cult of Duke Guile. He's a bastard.
Kagoma will work his way up front and congratulate Gary. That was pretty damn good.
He needs to hang out with issues more.
He has a way with words, that's for sure.
And
Eve's right behind it. She's
nervous, but he's like, yeah, let's do this. I'm going to be a lawyer.
No, Eve's pretty much right behind him, and she's just like, maybe Valeria should give him a raise.
You should get
What do you
something.
think, Gary?
Like, totally, man. I got a bunch of kids to support.
I had a feeling. I'll talk to him.
Cool. Like, my girlfriend is a she. Yeah.
Oh. Do you have any she children?
I think so. You got a lot of kids. Haven't seen the Earth since like the 70s. And at that, everybody's starting to settle down again as the gavel bangs once more.
Go back to my seat.
All right. The Bargain rises up and he goes, in the case of Pietro the SLUAGH, we find stricken 1 count kidnapping, 8 counts sedition. On the charge of 4 counts breaking and entering, we find the defendant guilty of the sewers, the service station, and Tower Eiluned. We find the SLUAGH guilty of 2 counts destruction of property, 1 line-headed lock, and 1 damaged gown. We find the defendant on the charge of 1 count theft, 1 heirloom moonstone, not guilty. And the charges of 3 counts first-degree murder, Heather Eiluned, Patrick Oswald, and Walter Cross, all in the service of House Eiluned. We find Pietro not guilty. And that, Gary looks really happy and that kind of thing, and the Gwydians look satisfied. Doreen is preening everywhere in the back, really happy she got to steal the show. And the rest of the Eiluned are nervously talking amongst themselves, trying to figure out what that means. Now, Boggin says, in service for that, Pietro the SLUAGH, you are assigned janitorial positions for both the Court of Home Fires and the Court of Taranar for a year and a day.
And Pietro grins at this.
Perhaps you will learn to clean up your messes better.
Oh, I will, believe me, I will.
At that, the Boggin allows himself a tiny smile, but he looks weary because he knows those murders will need to be accounted for in a future trial. And at that, he bangs the gavel. Further time, the court is dismissed, and everybody gets up and starts talking and mulling about.
And Pietro goes, yay, that's all the emotion you will get from him.
Because that's Pietro. So he gives you a position where you have unfettered access to the whole fucking palace. That's not a punishment.
And Pietro just goes like, it's in Home Fires and Taranar. I'm a very happy SLUAGH.
Make my way up front too.
Treventan rushes down there.
And as I see Treventan, I go, yes, yes, all the yes, all of it.
So, and he says this very, 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 very quietly. So let me get this straight. They're rewarding you for your crimes. This is very interesting. I like this court.
Yes, yes.
You do know that now you have to tell me everything you find out.
Oh, of course. I will invite you to high tea and we can talk about it. Now, I promise I will try to fuck up with House Gwydion installation of plumbing. Just a little bit.
Oh, be careful with Gwydians.
I'm just going to make their toilets overflowed with poop. That's it.
Can you
should take the cows in their toilets.
Don't all Fae make chimerical poop?
It's probably.
You still have to do it, though.
All right, how about we go around and each person says one more thing about what they're thinking, what they're planning to do, kind of thing. And we'll end the trial here. Gary, for his part, is overjoyed. He's going to go back and tell his girlfriend that he's like a real lawyer now, and maybe she'll marry him this time. And it's smooth sailing from here, baby. He's going to get his own freehold, just like the last person that buggered off.
What is he going to do with that freehold?
He hasn't thought that far.
Oh, he might get the field. Get to stay in it.
Yeah, just having a freehold is cool.
Well, I will speak for Eve. She's pretty happy. I mean, this pretty much went about as well as she expected. And it turns out that her oath did not go to the wrong person, so she's pretty happy.
Yes, Valerius is not going to be hurt by this.
Pietro will just shake hands and kiss everyone, and he will just grab his rapier that was decommissioned at the entrance and his cane and look at everyone and go like, "I'm sorry, I cannot party. I have a riot to stop." And he will turn around and whoosh to Goblin Town.
Seriously, man, you're going right back into that?
Yeah. House Kadash for the win.
Hold on, Pietro. Hold on, damn it. Here. Just because you look like a sorry mess. Is it safe? He's going to do Heather Bomb.
Heather bombed the hell out of him. His face looks like a freaking mess.
1, 2, 3, 4,
I threw a
5.
turtle at it at one point.
You pack up puzzles, not. I can run the
Oh,
Dr. Event is actually extremely jealous and wishes he had gotten that assignment.
Is protocol still active?
The Sovereign, yes. First level, just don't be a dick. Wheaton's Law.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait a minute, you're right. The gavel did sound. No, I am so sorry, it's not.
Thank you.
It was for the duration of that, like, literally that scene. So, go ahead and be a dick.
Working on it. I was just going to my Is the Gwydion still there?
Oh, the Gwydion? Yeah. Yeah, the Gwydions are still there.
The one who did all the questions?
Yeah. Yeah, they've got a lot of work to do right now, so he's talking to the rest of his council, and so we're trying to figure out who to charge next and so forth.
I'm just going to keep an eye on him.
Okay, it's a huge thing. It's kind of turned into a crazy witch hunt, and they're upset at the results of this trial. And they're not making any effort to conceal this because now, of course, they need to find out perhaps more murderers. They need to go deeper into House Eiluned. This has been hard enough, kind of thing. But they will find the truth, kind of deal.
What are some of the other house knockers saying?
I'm sorry, what?
What are some of the other knockers of House Eiluned saying?
Well, there's actually none present.
Who else is present in the house?
Now, there is House Eiluned. You do see a couple of pukas that are in the service of, but as far as being sworn to, you will find, what is it? You will find one puka, younger one, and who else? Oh yes, an elderly satyr. who is in the service of House Eiluned. No troll,
Service or
anything
sworn?
like that. I'm sorry, what?
Service or sworn?
Oh, I'm sorry. The satyr is sworn House Eiluned. And the younger one is in the service of. The rest are she that are present at this trial. And they're very quiet, and do you want to go and see what they're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, they're basically talking about what the hell are the Eiluned doing here? They didn't tell us that they were coming, kind of thing. Does this mean that they're all coming? Does this mean that this one just couldn't control herself, kind of deal? That's what they're all worried about. They're worried that they look bad enough, and now that they've got their crazy sister family that are going to come in here and make things much harder for them.
Okay. I'll let the elves speak among themselves.
Okay.
And Gary, just an enchanted mortal?
Yeah, he is long-term enchanted. He's,
Not Canane?
Nope, he's not. He's pretty fucking loopy at this point, though. It's been a really long time since he's seen the Grey World. To stop himself from going straight into Bedlam, he's been spending some time in freeholds.
I imagine doing taxes.
Actually, out of character knowledge, he has been doing the tithes for Valerius and Eve's barony.
So
And he can
doing
do the job pretty well. So, yeah, he's probably a lot loopier than most mortals, but he's not as crazy as some she that are on the verge of, like, just disappearing into Bedlam.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, are we okay with ending the scene here? Cool. Okay. Well, thank you all for coming. This is Living World of Darkness, and see you next time.